This. This is it. So, right. Oh yeah, zigzag. Yeah. So yeah, and then we, right. I don't know if this is the Guzurites, Gezerites, but anyway, so we did that, and so these are the different Guzurites, right? So going back to over here, these are the ones upward, and these are the ones downward, where I just showed you in Philistia. So it's two, as you can see here. These Gujarites are Hamites from Sihor, which is before Egypt, even onto the border of Ekron, northward. We didn't conquer this because the Lord said so. And all these places, the Canaanites, the Sidonians, the Giblites, which is Gebal, which is mentioned in the book of Psalms 83, Lebanon. We didn't have that. All the inhabitants of, so it says here, all the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon unto this name word, and the Sidonians, which are Phoenicians, which are Canaanites, them will I drive out from before the children of Israel. Only divide it by lot unto the children of Israel, unto the Israelites for an inheritance, as I have commanded thee. So these places we did own, because it shows you that here we did own it, and this is Sidon, which is the Phoenicians. This is Tyre, which is the Phoenicians. But the land of Asher was now there. We took that, and unto Lebanon actually. But we were supposed to get that too, which is shown here. Yeah, here. No, sorry. Here. No. Here. Sorry. Let me put the picture. Not the picture, the line. This is what we were. Yeah, we did get it, but it was actually more that we got, but we couldn't. We didn't beat. We didn't keep the laws. So the Lord therefore did not make us take the entire spot, which was promised unto us, because we were promised unto the river Euphrates. Wait, here. So we was promised until here, where you see the word Aram. No, here, yeah, the river Euphrates. So here, Madi and all that there, the river Euphrates. This is the river Euphrates. This line. We were promised until there, and you can read about that in the book of Genesis 25. It's not no rocket scientist. It's just simple, very simple. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee. This is not hard. You can just see it for yourself. Unto the river Euphrates have I given thee. Genesis 15 and 18. In the same day Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. So now that I know, I just found it out. Because I was always struggling. Not struggling, but it was always interesting to me, like, this is Egypt. I know that, but is this? And now I know that's, oh, this whole part here is the land of Egypt. I didn't know that. Now I know. So now I know it's here. From here until here. Because I was always thinking, not always thinking, I know it, but wait. Because I always had this in my head, and I was thinking it always. I was like, but I know. Because it's their time now to rule. The Lord is fair. He gives them bigger portions than us. Look at the area that they had control over, the Persians. I'm not making this up. They had this region, right? And then you had the Assyrians, which had a smaller part, but still, it's bigger than what we had. And then you had not this one. And then you had the Roman Empire, actually, wait. Right, then you had the Babylonia, you had this, right? The Greek Empire. You had the Greek Empire, which is, these are the kings mentioned. It says here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kings. 8, 2, 8, 2, 8, 3, 5. And then you had the Greek Empire. They had even a little bit more even than the Assyrians and the Persians. And then you had this one. And then you had the rise of the Roman Empire, and then you have the full Roman Empire. So they had a lot. They had a lot. I'll tell you that. They had a big region, like a big portion of the planet Earth and stuff like that. Isaiah chapter 63, verse 17 until verse 19, shows you, as Isaiah was asking, like, Lord, so how come basically we didn't have control over, we had a little bit control over our land, and then basically the heathens took over and stomped us out. Because, well, this is the reason, because, let me see here, Joshua. Now, yeah, so Joshua chapter 13, and then let me read it here. Judges chapter 2, verse 20. And the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he said, because that this people had transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and had not hearkened unto my voice, I also will not henceforth drive. Oh, here, let me read it slow. I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that through them I may prove Israel, to test us, whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk therein, as their fathers that keep it, or not. Therefore, so because he wanted to test them, therefore the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily, neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua. Judges chapter 3 verse 1. Now these are the nations which Yahweh left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel had not known all the wars of Canaan. Only, this is the only reason, that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, because the Lord is a man of war. King David was a man after the Lord's own heart, because he was a man of war. And he loved this nation above anybody else. And because the Lord chose him, so that's why. But yeah, he loved this nation, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he's the true shepherd. He's the Prince of Kings. The Lord Yahushua is King of Kings. Well, then King David is Prince of Kings, as it shows you, kind of shows you right here. Let me see. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 23. And I will set one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. He shall feed them, and shall be their shepherd, and Yahweh will be their power, and my servant David a prince among them. And I, Yahweh, have spoken it. But we know that David is the king among us. So what kind of prince is he? Well, he's the Prince of Kings, because we're going to be a nation of kings and kings and priests. Yeah, that's what I mean. We're going to be a nation of kings and priests, and Yahushua is going to be King of Kings, because he already is, but he's going to be established as it, because now, a lot of people basically go to other gods and they're called their God King, and their God this and that and this. Well, once the Lord comes back, King David is going to be Prince of Kings, and Yahushua is going to be King of Kings, and that's it. King David is going to be above us, and the 12 apostles are going to be above us. That's in the book of Matthew chapter 19. Here, Matthew 19. So remember that King David is above them. Remember that. And it's not far-fetched, because you might be a prophet of the Lord, but the king is still over you. So look at Nathan. Nathan was a prophet. The Lord was literally talking to Nathan. He wasn't talking to King David at that moment. He sent Nathan to go tell King David, hey, go tell him what he did, because I know he did adultery. Go tell him. And you would think like, hey, huh? So the Heavenly Father is closer with Nathan than with King David, because he's the prophet. He talks to the prophets, and the prophets come and talk to you. But he's the king, so he is over you. But so Matthew chapter 19 verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And who was he talking about? He was talking to the 12 disciples of the Lord. They shall judge the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and they shall sit upon 12 thrones. So it's clearly talking about 12 of them. Because Peter asked, so then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. Yeah, we, which was the 12. What shall we have therefore? And then Yahweh shall explain to him. Right, so, okay. So that's the reason why we were not able to do this one, but this one we did get. From verse 6, we did get that. Here, let me read it again. All the inhabitants of the hill country, from Lebanon unto this word, and all the Sidonians, which I just showed you, Sidon, and Tyre, them will I drive out from before the children of Israel. Only divide thou it by lot unto the Israelites for an inheritance, as I have commanded thee. And from here on, we didn't. From here, we didn't. Right. Let me see, from the south, and the Sidonians, and the Epic, and the border of the Amorites. All these places, yeah, it explains that this place, yeah, we didn't have it at that time, but later on the Lord did say that we will get the place of the Sidonians. We will get that. But at the time when he was telling them, we did not have it. But eventually we did, because we fight. It's going to explain here in the book of here. Because in the beginning, like I said, we had a few, but then later on we took it, and it's going to explain it here. So this is the book of Joshua chapter 15 verse, let me see, 12. And the west border was to the great sea and the coast thereof. This is the coast of the children of Judah, round about according to their families. And also, what I also want to talk about is that, what's his name again? It says it right here. Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. He's an Israelite because, first and foremost, it's mentioned here of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, which is Numbers 13 and 6. And Genesis chapter 15, verse 18, I read it, but I'm going to read it again with another explanation. Genesis 15 and 18, in the same day Yahweh made a covenant with Abraham, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Right, so he said, unto thy seed. If Caleb was of another tribe, which was not an Israelite, because a lot of people say that, because here, Caleb is an Edomite. This is what Esau is pushing. He's always trying to sneak himself up in there. Caleb was described as a Kenizzite, and is said to have received a land originally intended for the tribe of Judah. No. The Calebites, his descendants, likely comprised of a mixed population of Edomites and Judean. No, that's not true. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. What? Oh, and she wasn't a prostitute. She played herself as a prostitute. She wasn't a prostitute. His daughter-in-law was not a prostitute. She played herself as a prostitute, but the thing was, she was actually trying to get seed from Judah. She did it. She knew exactly, like, no. This guy's blessed. I want his baby. I want their family. I want something from them. And then she heard that he would here. Tamar. She heard it. Genesis 38. It was told. Look, it says here. So he sent her to her father's house. Judah sent Tamar to her father's house to wait there until Shelah was grown, because he was young. He was too young. These two died. Right? Okay, so, and Shuah was a Canaanite. And so therefore, so let me see. Okay, this was a Canaanite, but Tamar was also a Canaanite because they was in that region. But there were no Israelite women. It didn't exist. Or else they would have to sleep with their own sister, Dinah. So there were no Israelites. So how did we create the nation of Israel? With the other women. And then therefore when we were a lot, we started to make children with our own family, basically. Because the Israelites are family with each other. That's why we used to call each other brother and sister. Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, what's up, sister? Stuff like that. Only we did that. The other nations didn't do it. Especially in the 90s. They didn't do it. They did not call themselves brother and sisters. They didn't do it. Which they actually are, but still. We had it engraved within us those days. Wait. It was told. Sorry, I'm looking. Yeah, so it says here. Now, verse 13. Genesis chapter 38, verse 13. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put the widow's garment from off of her, because her husband died, which was the son of Judah. And Judah was her father-in-law. And covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, which is the son that Judah promised her that he would give her, and she was not given unto him to wife. She was really trying to, she was like, I want to be. What is this father-in-law of mine doing? What is he doing? He promised me he would give me his son, or I would be given unto his son, actually, And she was not given unto him to wife. So she played the harlot. She wasn't a harlot, man. She wasn't a whore. She actually did a whore deed. But even Judah said, in verse 24, and it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, had played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burned. And then later, Judah said, verse 26. So you can read the chapter for yourself if you have the time. And Judah acknowledged them. These were his things, which she took, which is her luck, because if she didn't have these things, she would be burned to death. But yeah, the Heavenly Father caused it to happen like that. And Judah acknowledged them. Yes, these things. Because he gave her these things, because he didn't have no money at that time. So he said, okay, hold this. I'm going to go and I'm going to come back and give you, what you, for the thing, you spread your legs for me and stuff like that. I enjoyed it. And then he walked it off. And then he came back and then he was asking around like, yo, where the harlot at? And the guy said, there's no whore here. There are no whores here. What are you talking about? He looked and he said, there was a whore here. I met her. I popped her. Which shows you he didn't even put a condom on. But anyway, so that shows you that there was not fear of STDs. Esau created that. Pardon. So it says here, and Judah acknowledged them and said, she had been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Selah, my son. And he knew her again no more. He never had sex with her again. This is how you know a woman by having sex with them. That's what it means, because it shows you here. Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And let me see. When Seth comes, let me see. Here. 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. So this is how you know a woman in the scriptures, by having sex with her. That's what it means. And he knew his wife again. He got intimate with her. Intimate. This is what it means. Intimate definition. Intimate. Closely acquainted, familiar, private and personal, very close friend. But What does it mean when you get intimate with her? Sexual relationships, having a sexual relationship, having sex actually. That's getting acquainted with her. That's familiar with her. That's being intimate. That's how you know someone. You know, right? That's why it hurts more when your girl betrays you than when you have a fight with a guy. I don't have to type that in, but yeah, when you have a fight with a guy, a person, a man, another man, you have a fight with him. You dislike him for a while, but after a while, you're gonna forget about this dude. Like, okay, cool. We had that fight and stuff like that. Blah, 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 blah. You might even turn out to be friends with him, even so-called best friends with him after the fight. But your girl that betrayed you, you wanna, uh, you're gonna have more hatred toward her than you would have toward a guy that you fought with. You know, because she was intimate with you, you were intimate with her, and therefore the betrayal is higher. It's deeper. You really want to damage her. You really want to damage her back. But the guy, you're not gonna want to damage that guy after you fought and stuff like that. But the girl, you really want her to actually really go through that pain. But anyway, so the Lord is not a liar, because if you say that Joshua was a Edomite, then you would say that this is a lie, because the Lord said, "Thy seed have I given this land." So therefore, Caleb is a Judite, right? He was just called a Kenizzite, just like how Simon is called a Canaanite in the book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 4 or something, or 5. I think 4. He's called a Canaanite. Is he a Canaanite? No, he's not. He's an Israelite that was called a Canaanite. Why? Most likely he was living in that region, or he had a Canaanite mother. It doesn't specifically explain here, Simon the Canaanite. But he was called a Canaanite, but he was an Israelite. So, same thing with Judah. He's called a Kenizzite, but he's a Judite. He's an Israelite. Right? So, going back to over here. Now, it says that... I'm going to read about it later. So, it says here, Joshua chapter 15, verse 13. And unto Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, he gave a part among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of Yahweh to Joshua, even the city of Arba, the father of Anak, which is Hebron. Like I said, he is a Judite, and he went along, the tribe of Judah went and fought for this place. I'll read that later. And Caleb drove thence the 3 sons of Anak, Shishai, and Ahiman, and Talmai, the children of Anak. And he went up thence to the inhabitants of Debir. And the name of Debir before was Kirjath Sephar. And Caleb said, He that smiteth Kirjath Sephar, and taketh it, to him will I give Achsha, my daughter, to wife. Right. So he clearly didn't go alone, because he went with his family members. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, and by the way, Othniel, he became a judge in the book of Judges, chapter 1. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb. So Kenaz is the brother of Caleb. So if you read the book of First Chronicles, chapter 2 and chapter 3 and chapter 4, you will see that some of the family members of Caleb was also called Kenaz. His grandson was called Kenaz, and then his brother is called Kenaz. So this is a name that we had amongst the Israelites, Kenaz, and therefore would come then the Kenizzites. And if you don't believe that, you can read the book of Numbers chapter 3. You will see that we had always the same names. That's why in the book of Luke chapter, I think it was 2, chapter 2. Okay, then it was, I think, no, wait. Luke chapter 2. Maybe it was 3. Then it was 1, I think. Thou shalt call his name John, and Luke 1. Yeah, it was just there. Luke 1 and what? 1 and what? Luke 1 and 59. Oh, yeah, yeah. 59. Luke 1:59, and it came to pass that on the 8th day they came to circumcise the child, and they called him Zechariah, after the name of his father. So what we had is, if you read the Chronicles with the names and stuff like that, you're gonna get confused because you're gonna see the same names pop up the whole time, because those are really Hebrew, like Israelite names, and they often have the same name. You'd be like, what? Who is this talking about? And then when they talk about, for example, the first Jacob or Judah or Joseph, speaking of Jacob and Joseph in Matthew chapter 1, look who the father. Look here. It says, verse 16, Matthew 1 and 16, and Jacob begat Joseph, the son of Mary. So Joseph, his father, was Jacob, but Joseph, his father, was Jacob. You see what I'm saying? But then Israel, when he was Israel, no, not when he was Israel, let me say it again. When Israel was alive, that's what I mean. When Israel was alive, his name was Jacob, and he did get Joseph. You see? So these are the two same names. Jacob begat Joseph, and that is the truth. 2 times, and multiple times. There's a lot of men that were called Jacob in Israel, and they had their son, and then they called their son Joseph, or they called their son Benjamin, or they called their son Reuben, Laban. So it's all kind of crazy, but it's understandable if you just look up what it is. And so, after the name of his father, and his mother answered and said, No, sorry, not so, but he shall be called John. And they said unto her, There is none of thy kindred that is called by this name. So obviously, what we were doing back in the days, we were calling all our children the same names over and over and over and over and over again and again and again and again, again and again, again and again, for centuries, generations upon generations. If you even read the book of Matthew 1, you will see that all these names are repeated just often, is all over the place. You know, you have Rahab, which is a name that other people have, and all these crazy things, you know. And all that. Ezekiel, this is Ezekiel. Ezekias, but this is Ezekiel. And if I'm correct, if you look it up in the Hebrew, it's going to say, right. You had Ammon, but then you had also Ammon of Ammonites. So they had Ammon also, and you have also the Egyptians, the name Ammon. So it's all crazy. Manasseh, another Manasseh here, and stuff like that, right? So going on. So, and Othniel, the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it. So he took that city, and he gave him Achsha, his daughter, to wife. Right. So this is the nephew, basically cousins. He was a son of Kenaz, which is the brother of Caleb, which Caleb is the uncle to Othniel, and then his daughter would then therefore be his cousin, and it's allowed for them to marry because that's not against the scriptures. Because if you read the book of Leviticus chapter 18, you will see the sexual relations that are allowed. You will see that that is not forbidden. So you can have. I would not advise for you to do it nowadays because we're in 2024 and our mind is different, it's because of your environment. I'm going to give you an example. When you go to China, it is normal to eat dog in certain places. But those Chinese families, right? Let's say they come here, the first generation, right? And then they live here. And then the second generation. And then the third generation, which is now their grandchildren, right? Their grandchildren might not want to eat dog. They would cry. They would be like, this is animal cruelty. You're evil. F your culture and stuff like that. Why? Because they grew up around the Edomites. But it's a good thing. You shouldn't be eating dog, man. You shouldn't be eating dog. That's not good. That's against the scriptures, man. You're loose from all that so-called morality thing. It's against the scriptures. So you shouldn't be eating dog anyway. even if you don't know about the scriptures, man. Don't be eating no dog and cat and stuff like that. Don't be doing that. So I think okay. So verse 18. So Joshua chapter 15, verse 18. And it came to pass as they came unto him, that she moved him to ask of her father. So she moved Othniel to ask of her father a field, and she lighted off her ass, which is a donkey. And Caleb said unto her, What wouldest thou? Yeah. Who answered, Give me a blessing. Oh, wait a minute. No, she moved the father. No, wait. She moved him to ask of her father in a field. So yeah, she moved him. Him. She moved Othniel. And she lighted up her ass, and Caleb said unto her, What wouldest thou? Who answered, Give me a blessing. So she answered him also, but she was moving, she was in his ear. You know how women are. They're talking to you. So hitting you with the elbow in the side of the belly or the stomach, right? Who answered, Give me a blessing, for thou hast given me a southland. Give me also springs of water. And he gave her the upper springs and the nether springs, which is down. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Judah, according to their families. Right. Like I said in the book, it said in the book of Genesis chapter 15, actually, that the Lord said he will give it to thy seed unto Abraham. So this is of his seed. There cannot another seed come and take land within the nation of Israel. The book of Numbers chapter 27 and also the book of Numbers chapter 36. 36 goes more into details, by the way, the whole chapter. 27, it starts with it and then it goes into another topic. But yeah, you can still read both of them because they both have information that would link up with each other it would weave within one another, right? So there it would explain to you, the book of Numbers 27 and the book of Numbers 36, it would explain to you that the children of Israel could not even take inheritance off of their own brethren. That was not allowed. So Judah was not allowed to have any land in the land of Simeon, or Reuben or Gad, anywhere in any place. They was not allowed to have that. Pardon. They was not allowed to have that. So a heathen could never come into the land and just take land. The only ones that could come from that was lacking inheritance, those were Israelites that was living among us. Let me give you an example here in the book of Acts chapter 2. Acts chapter 2 verse 5. And they were dwelling at Jerusalem devout men from where? Out of every nation under the heaven. So what does that mean? That mean that these Jews that came to Jerusalem, they was living in the in the rest of the world among the heathen nations. The book of Isaiah chapter 11 verse 11 shows you that also here. Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day. This is a future prophecy that has not happened yet, and it will happen again. And sorry, it will come out. It will happen. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh will set his hand again the second time. So this never happened again. This never happened. This never happened. It never happened. It did not happen yet. The Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria. So you will have our people from you will have all people here from these Arabian places, you from Damascus, which is Aram, which is Syria. It's the same thing, as you can see it here. Let me see something. Here. Yeah, here. Syria. Ashur is the same thing. Syria, Ashur is the same thing. Aram is the same thing. Aram also is the same thing. As you can see here, if I'm correct, let me show you something. Aram. Here, Hebrew 758. Arameans, Aram or Syria, the nation, the Syrian, Aramean people. Okay, so that's one, Aram. That's how you call them, Aramites or Armenians in the English. What? Hey, sorry, wait. Yeah, right. So, let me see here. You have Syria. Syrian, which is Hebrew 7:5, and then you have Syrian, which is Hebrew 7:6:1. What was the other one? Hebrew 7:5:8. Yeah. And then you have Syrian, which is Hebrew 7. Well, let me look at it right now. Which is Aram, the same thing, right? Which is Hebrew 7:5:8, and that was what word? That was Syria. But it's also Aram, which I just clicked on. Now, the other one was Hebrew 7:6:1, which is Syrian, which is what? Aramya. Aramya is the same thing. Syria is the same thing. And then you have, let me see here, Ashur. This one, you have Ashur, right? Which only is mentioned 2 times in the scriptures. Is Hebrew 804 is Ashawar, which is Assyria, which is the same thing. And then you have 3 extra. So all the I just typed in Syria, I just typed in Aram, I just typed in Syrian. Now I'm gonna type in Assyria, Assyrian, Ashur, and this I already typed in. And what are those? Assyria, which is this one, Assyria. It's the same thing, Hebrew 804. This is Assyrian, it's the same thing, Hebrew 804. Ashur, which is the same thing, Hebrew 804. And this is Ashawar, which is Ashur. It's the same thing, Hebrew 804. So all these 804 are what? Assyria, Assyrian, Ashur, and Assur. Sorry. So this is Assur, this is Ashur, and then you have Syrian, then you have Syria, then you have Aram. It's the same thing, right? So you might get confused when you read on certain maps Aram, and then on other maps you might read, where's the other one? Where did I put it? Did I click it away? click it away. Oh, okay. Adam Damascus. Yeah, here, exalt this area. Oh, I did click it away. Yeah, sorry. Here. Then you have Assyria. Then you have Ashur. You don't. You might not know what the hell's going on. You know. And in the Apocrypha is even spelled different, but it's still Ashur, which is not it's still them. It's Aram in total. But if you look up Aram, it's actually the son of here. It's actually the son of Shem, but if you go a little bit upward, which is Ashur, here, look, the children of Shem, which is Elam, Ashur, and Aram. So clearly it's two different ones, but the thing is, look, Aram is just like how you could look. This one is the first, second, third, and fourth. Sorry, and fifth. Right. So Aram, the land of that came the children Uz, you know. But wait, let me explain it the best. So you have Ashur, yes, and then you have Aram, yes, but the Ashurites are called in total they're called the Aramites. Just like how you have Judah and Benjamin, you had them in Judah, Benjamin, Levi. You had them in the in the book of Matthew. You had them there, but the heathen nations did not call them Judah and Benjamin. They all called them Jews. That's it. They didn't call them specifically Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. They just called them Jews. But we know better that it is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. We know that. But they didn't. They didn't care. Now y'all look alike in English. You're a bunch of Jews. Claire. That's it. And they were done. So the same thing with here. We know that Ashur is a different brother of Aram. You know, the Aramites, the Ashurites, but they're all associated with being Aram, the whole region, the Aramites, Arameans, and they spoke kind of the same language to a certain degree. That's why you have, this is East Indians, right? Elam. That's why you have the Persians, it's also the Persians, by the way. That's why some of the Persians, they kind of look Arabian. Look. Persian people. Here. That's why sometimes they look kind of like a coolie. Because if you look at this one or this one, they kind of look coolie like. I'm going to give you an example. David Copperfield. He looked young when he was young. That's why when they made the movie, by the way, he looked like an East Indian. He looked like a coolie. Because that is what he is. But, oh, sorry, this guy's a Jew. What am I looking for? Wait. But listen. The point is, I have a point. This guy is a bad example. Wait. This guy's a bad example because he's an Israeli person. But when he was young, look at him. Just look at him. He looked like an East Indian. Look at this guy. And what region was he about? Was he around about? He was around these people, which is Aram. So clearly, look at him. He's kind of brownish to a certain degree. You know, but he's actually a bad example of mine. Wait, I have another one. Let me see. Persian. Persian men. Yeah. That's a bad example. But anyway, look at this guy. What does he look like? He looked like a little bit East Indian. They look like a bit of East Indians. But then you have the, let me see, what was it? North. Then they start to get whiter. You know? And then you have the, let me see. You have these type of dudes. But then you have these south ones. they start to get a little bit darker. You can't see that here real good, but if you go to Elam, which is the other Elam, this is Elam also. But if you go to North India versus South India people, you will see that the North, most of the time the North are white. Here, these are the northern ones, and these are the southern ones. So I think they switched it here. But of course, you have light skins living in the south also. Why are North Indians poorer compared? No, this is bullshit, man. This is bullshit. It's actually the northern ones are richer than the southern ones. You know, because the southern ones are the darker ones. Here, you have the North Indian women, and then you have the South Indian women. This is the South. This is the North. This is the North Indian family. This is the South Indian family. Clearly, you can see they live in houses, and these live in huts. Here, let me see. These have they look Caucasian, you know, because Esau went up in there and basically fucked them. So that's literally what happened. So I shouldn't have said it like that. They made babies with them. Let's just say that. And yeah, you will if you study these people, you will see, because because if you study them, you will see. If you look up things and just read about them, learn about them, you will see that these are treated like shit, and these are treated like as if they're greater, and they are of the north. And also, you have the same thing with Sudan. Versus South Sudan people. You will have the Northern Sudan people are a little bit lighter. I have seen a lot. And the South Sudan are darker. I have seen that. North Sudan people. That's not always the same, but they're a little bit lighter. They're lighter. And the South Sudanese are very dark. But, of course, you have in the middle of them also dark-skinned people. In the middle of the north, and in the midst of the northern Sudan people, you also have dark-skinned people. And in the midst of the South Sudan people, you also have light-skinned people. And then you have the North Sudanese people, but these are Arabs that live there. These are not Hamites. These are Arabs. So you have them also living there. Clearly, you can see that they look Arabianistic, you know, with the straight type of hair, and these type of these, you can hear this, you know, stuff like that. But anyway, so I hope I explained that good. Elam is East Indians and also Persians and stuff like that. And when you look up their people, you see the internet doesn't really do them good, because like I said, for example, internet, Amsterdam, actually, I should say. When you look this up, you will see them and all that there, because they decide what type of picture they take and put on the internet. Excuse me, hold on. Look, you don't see a lot of Jakes, but believe me, if you walk here, you would see only Jakes. And I know this guy. he doesn't even know he's on the internet. Huh? Yeah, let me show him. Lord willing, I'll see him, and then I'll have this picture. But Jack, when you go to these neighborhoods, believe me, my man, you're gonna see more Jakes than you can imagine. Compared to these pictures, you're not really gonna see these people, bro. You know, this is literally the what they call the ghettos and stuff like that. You don't see a lot of Caucasus people. Well, now you see them. You do see them, of course. This is their stolen country. Of course, you're gonna see them. But compared to the other places outside of the southeast and stuff like that, yeah, you're gonna see only white skinned people, bro. I'm telling you. You're gonna see Arabs pale. You're gonna see Turkish pale. You're gonna see Japanese and Chinese and pale. You know, but when you come around here, you start seeing darkness. You see, you start seeing darkness. Yeah, but these are East Indians. Kushite. This is a Kushite. I can clearly see it. These are Kushite. This is a Jacob Descendant, of course. But anyway, this was in 2020. Oh, this is a. Oh, I didn't even read that. No, anyway, so right. I was just looking at the places. Like this is a top shot of it. Belmont City, the city of the future power, 99% invisible. Yeah, because they was blocking us. You know, we shouldn't have existed, but this place is not anymore. They broke everything. Well, not everything 100% down, but they broke the majority of them, especially these long ones. They broke it down, and sometimes they kept like one portion of it, or this small thing. They kept some of it in other places. Like for example, you can clearly see here. This is a modern picture. They clearly kept it, and other places they just took out, especially the long ones. You know, these devils. Now they're talking about yeah, but now they're talking about yes, not a lot of houses and stuff like that. Well, fuck you, devils. You know. You know. But then again, to a certain degree, it's better. It's better to a certain degree, because Jake is just filthy, man. Jake is just filthy. You know. But that's another story. That's a whole other story. I'm gonna leave that. But yeah, you do have Ashurites and Aramites, and but still they are associated with one another, right? And then therefore they are all named. Where is it? I put it here. Thinking. Yeah, Arabian type of people, and the word Arab means mixed multitude. Arab, it means mixed multitude. So they're mixed up with who? With Elam, with the white one, the white Elam. They're mixed up with Ashur, you know, and they're mixed up with Ishmael too. So they look Arabian. They look like Arabs. But yeah, those are those, and it is the Syrians, which is the same thing. It is kind of confusing unless you understand it. Then you'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. And Genesis chapter 10 is a great way to see who is who, kind of, to a certain degree, especially if you understand it. If you don't understand these names, then you're not going to really know. For example, this is Ibar. This is Hebrew. This is Hebrew. This is Ibar. Yeah, this is Ibar. Eber. Right. And then the Lord, through Eber, he started to divide the nations. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg. What is the meaning of Peleg? Divided. It shows you right here. Let me see something. So the Lord also uses names to do certain prophetic things. For example, Noah. Noah means rest. And he had rest because he killed the rest of the people of the planet Earth. And with him he had rest, or comfort, you could say also. Peleg, Hebrews 6, 3, 8, and 9. 8, 9. Yeah, 8, 9. Division. The son of Eber. And who was called the Hebrew? Well, Abraham Hebrew. So wait, Abraham the Hebrew. Abraham the Hebrew. Wait, Abraham the Abram, sorry, I didn't spell it good. Abram the Hebrew. So, what is here? Hebrew, which is Ibadia, which is Hebrew 5680, and Peleg here, but I didn't want that. I want Eber. So remember, let me do another one then. Actually, this one. Okay, then I'll go to Ibar, which was here Eber, which is Hebrew 5677, which is Ibar. Ibar. You spell it like this. Ibar or Eber. And then the root word of this one is Hebrew 5676. But I'll go to this one. Hebrew 5680. 5680. Which is Ibadia. and Ibaria, yeah, and this is Hebrew 5677, which is Ibar, which is Heber, or in the English, Eber or Heber. See, Ibar, Eber or Heber, and then the root word etymology the same as, so this is Hebrew 5677 Eber, Ibar, and then 5676 is the same as this Ibar. Region is also region from before, so we are also the Hebrews from beyond, and which is the root word for this Hebrew 5674. Okay, this is the primitive word. This is the like the ultimate one. Ibar, which is Passover. So it has meanings, but it goes to being a Hebrew. 5680, 5677. So yeah, you have the same word for different meanings. But yeah, we was divided from the heathen nations, as you can see here. It's gonna say here in the book of Deuteronomy 32, Deuteronomy 32, and here 8. When the Most High divided the nations to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people, the nation of Israel. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So Jacob is the lot of the Lord's inheritance, meaning I want Jacob. That's what the Lord says. He found him in a desert land and in a waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. That's what the Lord did with Jacob. He loved him because he loved his father Abraham, and he loved his other father Isaac, and he loved him, and he loved all his 12 children. Right. So okay, going on. So yeah. So please don't get it like, oh, you're wrong. No, I know what I mean, but I hope I can explain to you what I mean. That's what I want, so that you can understand what I have in my head. What I think. Then you can see what I see. Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. So going on now, it says here. Okay, so this is Joshua. Oh no. Let me read this. Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, Jacob. That's his people, which shall be left from Assyria, which is Adam, or Ashur, that region there, and from Egypt. So you have Israelites in Mizraim, and from Patros. I saw Patros. Wait, where did I put it? I think I put it. No. Wait, I think I have it here then. Here. Patros. No. Parsia. No, wait. Okay, let me Google it. Patros. Here. Upper Egypt. Oh. Yeah. Patros, which is here. This would be Patros. So, guess what? The people of the real Mizraim, they fled into Sudan. And then they fled even further here. That's why you saw those straight-haired people that I showed you of Sudan, which are the Cushites, the ones with the straight hair. I just circled the girl with hair. With yeah, I clicked it away. Sorry about that. But I hope you remember, or you can play it back. That girl was from Cush, because the Cushite women, let me try and find it again. Okay, you have the North Sudan, but when you see girls with hair like this, you can kind of say it's Cush. But when you see this, then you can kind of say, okay, this is Mizraim. Oh yeah, look at here. Huh. Got it. This is Kush. This hair is Kush. Now, if I look at the hair, sometimes I can tell what race it is. This is an Arab, but they could be Kushites too. But you just look at the faces and stuff like that, you'd be like, oh, these are Arabs. Because you have dark skinned Arabs, of course, and you have light skinned Arabs, of course, you know? But, of course, these people intermingle with each other. This guy looked like an Arab, like a dark skin. This guy looked like a coolie, East Indian, Elam. You know, this guy has a little afro and stuff like that, kind of mixed up with Mizraim and Kush. You know, so let me see something here. Yeah, I don't know if it's Photoshop or what.